The world of women's tennis is a fortress, guarded by the same legendary names and predictable powerhouses. For years, the throne seemed untouchable, the hierarchy set in stone. But what if the entire game was about to be flipped on its head? Right now, a seismic shift is tearing through the WTA Tour, and it's being led by a soft-spoken assassin no one saw coming. She doesn't hail from a country with a tennis tradition. Her path to glory wasn't paved with privilege, but with an almost obsessive sacrifice. This isn't just another player on a hot streak. This is the story of how Alexandra Alex Eala is systematically dismantling the establishment, one shocking victory at a time. You can't manufacture the kind of DNA Alex Eala was born with. It's a blueprint for competitive greatness. Her mother, Riza Maniego Eala, wasn't just a casual athlete. She was a fierce competitor who snatched a bronze medal in the pressurized arena of the Southeast Asian Games, proving she knew what it took to win when everything was on the line. In the Eala household, sport wasn't a weekend pastime. It was the family's native tongue, a constant conversation about discipline, endurance, and victory. While other toddlers were focused on cartoons, Alex, at just 4 years old, was already feeling the grip of a racket, her small hands instinctively learning the language of topspin and volleys. But here's the crucial, often overlooked twist in her origin story. She was honing this world-class talent in the Philippines, a nation with a passionate heart for basketball, but absolutely zero blueprint, infrastructure, or history for creating a tennis superstar. The passion wasn't just a flicker, it was a roaring fire, an obsession that consumed her. And this forced her parents into a heart-wrenching, impossible choice: watch her incredible potential wither on the vine of limited local competition, or make a soul-crushing sacrifice that would tear their family apart. That sacrifice materialized as a one-way ticket to Mallorca, Spain, a journey that felt less like an opportunity and more like an exile. At the tender, vulnerable age of just 13, Alex Eala made a decision that most adults would fear, leaving behind the comforting chaos of home, her friends, and the familiar sights and sounds of the Philippines. Her destination was more than a training facility. It was the legendary Rafa Nadal Academy, a boot camp designed not just to create skilled players, but to forge unbreakable champions in the hottest fires of competition. The goal was dual: to weaponize her natural, powerful lefty forehand into a tour-de-force shot, and simultaneously, to systematically break down any lingering mental fragility and rebuild her with a level of psychological toughness that could withstand the brutal pressures of the Pro Tour. The discipline was relentless, the schedule brutal, and the lonely, quiet nights in a foreign land, away from her mother's embrace, threatened to shatter her resolve completely. This was the hidden cost of greatness, a price paid in tears and solitude far from the public eye. But what emerged from that intense, unrelenting pressure wasn't just a better tennis player. It was a completely new mentality, a cold-blooded predator on the court. The Academy's philosophy, drawn from Nadal's own infamous fighting spirit, was injected into her DNA. They instilled a killer instinct, a preternatural calm during match point that would soon become her terrifying trademark against top-ranked opponents. She learned to wear her resilience not just as armor, but as a weapon, using her unwavering composure to intimidate and unravel her rivals. This was the secret, underground transformation the world was completely unaware of. The meticulous forging of a mental giant, hidden away on a sun-drenched Spanish island, all while the tennis world remained oblivious to the storm that was brewing. Her junior career was far more than a collection of trophies. It was a masterfully executed long-term strategy designed by her and her team. Winning the US Open Girls title in 2022 wasn't just a shiny piece of silverware. It was a deafening announcement to the tennis universe that a new, serious contender had arrived. But she didn't stop there. Strategically adding junior doubles titles at the hallowed clay of Roland Garros and the hard courts of the Australian Open wasn't for show. It was a deliberate move to prove her versatility, her net game, and her ability to adapt to any surface or partner. Behind the scenes, every single match, every practice was a calculated stepping stone, meticulously preparing her for the ruthless, physical war that awaited on the professional circuit. This period wasn't just a talented kid enjoying a victory lap. It was the final, precise calibration of a pro in waiting, building an impeccable resume and a rock-solid game ready for the main stage. Then came the brutal, humbling reality check that awaits every can't-miss prospect. The professional circuit is a merciless, grueling grind, a tour that feasts on the dreams of promising juniors. The transition from being a dominant phenom to just another tour rookie is where countless careers falter and fade into obscurity. Sure, those early ITF titles were promising signs, but the WTA Tour, with its bigger hitters, faster pace, and seasoned veterans, was a completely different, more vicious beast. Painful losses piled up, each one a blow to her confidence. The relentless physical demand left her exhausted, while the immense, invisible weight of an entire nation's hopes pressed down on her shoulders with every single point she played. The quiet, cynical whispers began to circulate in the comment sections and forums. Was Alex Eala just another flash-in-the-pan junior star who simply couldn't handle the brutal pressure and power of the big leagues? And then 2025 happened, and every single whisper was silenced in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. The stage was the prestigious Miami Open, a WTA 1000 event where the world's best come to play. In a Cinderella run that defied all logic, odds, and expert predictions, Alex Eala exploded onto the scene like a thunderclap. She sliced through the draw with a fearlessness that captivated the global audience, a relative unknown playing with a nothing-to-lose freedom. But the real shockwave, the moment that truly sent the tennis world into a frenzy, was her clash with the undisputed dominant world number 2, Iga Świątek. This match was supposed to be a straightforward, routine victory for the established Polish champion, a mere formality on her way to the final. Instead, what unfolded was a brutal, stunning exposé of a new era dawning. Eala's fearless, powerful ground strokes and her almost unnervingly unshakable nerve in the match's biggest moments completely stunned Świątek, her team, and millions of watching fans. This wasn't a lucky fluke or a case of an opponent having a bad day. This was a deliberate, calculated takeover, a statement written in bold for the entire world to see. Miami was the explosive announcement, but her performance in Guadalajara later that year was her official, undeniable coronation. At the WTA 125 event, she found herself in a deep, seemingly inescapable hole, a set down and staring into the abyss in the championship final. This was the ultimate, final exam of that world-class mentality forged in the Nadal Academy fires, and she delivered spectacularly. Fighting back with a breathtaking display of heart and skill to claim the title, she didn't just win another championship. She single-handedly shattered a historic, decades-long ceiling for her entire country. In that moment, Alexandra Eala became the first Filipino player in history, male or female, to ever hold a WTA trophy. The raw emotion that followed wasn't just about the victory itself, it was about validating the belief of 110 million people, about proving that a nation without a tennis pedigree could indeed produce a champion. But now, in the blinding glare of the spotlight, the entire game changes for her, and the stakes have never been higher. Alex Eala is no longer just a tennis player. She has been transformed into a global symbol, a lucrative brand, and the #1 target on every competitor's hit list. She now carries the hopes of millions across Southeast Asia, a living, breathing testament that raw talent, when mixed with ferocious dedication, can emerge from anywhere and conquer the world. But with that unprecedented fame comes a new kind of opponent: intense, relentless scrutiny. Every practice session, every off day, every personal post on social media is analyzed and critiqued. Every loss is no longer just a loss, it's magnified into a crisis. Lucrative business deals and sponsorships are now pouring in, creating a potential minefield of distractions that have derailed many promising careers before her. The pressing question is no longer if she can win, but how she will navigate the immense pressure of being the one everyone is now hunting, and whether she can sustain this meteoric rise under the weight of being a national icon. From the cracked public courts of Quezon City to the brightest, most intimidating lights of the international WTA Tour, Alex Eala's journey transcends a simple sports narrative. It is a definitive blueprint for achieving the impossible. She willingly traded a normal childhood for a distant dream, embraced a grueling, lonely grind in a foreign land, and then, with the eyes of the world upon her, stared down the most feared players on the planet without a hint of fear. The established, comfortable order of women's tennis has been served a shocking and final notice. A new, powerful, and relentless force has not only arrived, she's here to stay. And the most terrifying part for her rivals is that this is likely just the beginning of her reign. The world thought it had the future of women's tennis all figured out. But Alex Eala just rewrote the entire script.